Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the M Word. My name's Robin, and as always, it's a pleasure to have you with me this afternoon. Um, for those of you new to these sessions, we air them every week on a Thursday, and we really try and share with you a tip, a trick, a what's new, some new functionality, or something. Have my mic down a little bit. Something interesting from the wonderful world of the Autodesk design software that we sell, service, and support here at Man and Machine in the UK. So if you haven't already, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, and more importantly, give us some feedback. Let us know what you want to see. Get in touch, give us an idea for a video, or tell us something that you're struggling with, and we would be more than happy to run some more, let's say, specific or focused sessions specifically for the questions or the troubles that you are having. That aside, check out the rest of our YouTube content because there is a whole range of videos on there, everything from short and sweet tidbits to fully fledged hour-long product demonstrations from anything from Fusion, AutoCAD, Revit, vehicle tracking, Autodesk Vault, Autodesk Construction Cloud, 3ds Max, you name it. There is a huge range of videos on there. Please check them out and let us know what is missing that you would like to see. I sound a little bit stuffy today. The pollen in the UK seems to have gone bang, and it's all over my chest and all up my nose. So I apologise if I sneeze, if I sound horrendous. I am sorry. You'll have to let me off. You've got no choice. But yeah, it's been a little bit bad. So hopefully no one else out there is suffering. Suffering? That's not a word. Suffering. Suffering. There we go. Is suffering quite as badly as me. So today's session. A few weeks back, we looked at Enscape and we looked at how we can get started in Enscape and how easy it is to start working with the functionality to go from zero to a really nice, fully fledged render, real-time render of your models inside of Revit. Believe it or not, Enscape is 10 years old, which for me is unbelievable. I remember release 1, which blew me away. At how good it was, but looking back now, it looks terrible from today's standards. But it's 10 years old, and with that 10 years old, Chaos, who are the vendor, or not the vendor, the developer of the Enscape tool, are offering 20% off of your Enscape subscription. So give the office a call here if in UK, 01844 263 700. Give us a call and we can give you 20% off your Enscape subscription to celebrate it being 10 years old at the moment, or now. At the moment, now? Nah, it's 10 years old. Great product. And to celebrate that 10 years, I really want to dive in and show you what it can do, I guess, because all of the videos that I do on this channel are very much warts and all. I start with a completely clean canvas and we go through and put some stuff together live together on the session. But today, what I want to do, and I've just realised, I've just gone to grab my coffee. I've left it in the kitchen. If anyone from Man and Machine's watching this in the UK and you happen to be in the office, please bring me my coffee. That would be really appreciated. Thank you very much. Anyway, back to it. I want to show you what the product is capable of. So to do that, what we're going to do is open a sample model. And actually, just to give you an appreciation of how accessible these are, I'm going to show you where I got the sample model from. Because again, then if you want to follow along, you can. So I've gone into my favorite search engine and I've searched for Enscape sample models. And it takes me to the Chaos website. And then from the Chaos website, helps if I share my screen. Let's do that now. My button box is not working, just like it did the other day. Bear with me. There we go. Note to self, must fix the button box. On the Enscape website, you've got some sample projects, and there is loads on there. I'm using this one, the corner building here, but check them out. Give them a download and have a play with them because they're really, really good models. I'm not sure what's going on with all my gear today because everything seems to have moved. Even my camera is in a different position. How bizarre. Good enough, that'll do. So that's where I've gone to access the model that you're going to see today. And here it is inside of Revit. So I'm in 25. Revit 26 is due out very, very soon, which is fantastic. But I'm sat inside of Revit 25. And as you can see, it's a fairly detailed model that we have here. And then we've got some let's call them paper models or conceptual buildings and things around the outside. And all I'm going to do is head over to the Enscape tab, and I'm going to choose my view. I've got a starting view over here, and I want to use that starting view. So we're going to select that starting view and click Start. It's a fairly chunky model, this one. There's a lot of assets going on, so it's just going to take a minute or two to load. It's loading on my other screen. I've got my laptop below me down here. So once that's done, I'll drag it up onto the main monitor that I've got in front of me so that you can all see it. But this sample scene really, I mean, all of the sample scenes that Chaos give away here, this tool for me, it's like the monarch of real-time rendering. It really, really is. It's so quick. It's so easy to use, and the result that you get is stunning for the amount of time that you put in. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. So if you're not using it, again, it's a year old. It's not a year old. It's 10 years old. 20% off. Give us a call. Give the office a call, and we can put your subscription through at 20% off. So let me just get this onto my other screen, and this is the view that that I start with. So inside of this model, we've got custom textures. So textures that are above what you would get by default inside of Revit. We also have custom assets. That's how these buildings are being loaded. They're being loaded as custom assets, as well as the trees and as well as the cars. And the first thing that you'll see just by hitting go is, wow, this already looks brilliant. It looks great. It's crisp, it's clean. But when you realize that it's not a still image and I can use my mouse and keyboard. So with my mouse, I'm going to click and hold my left mouse button. And by moving my mouse around, it allows me to look. Imagine that you're moving your head around and looking around the model. And then to move forward, backwards, left and right. Very natural if you're a gamer. It's W to move forward, S to move backwards, A goes left, D goes right. You can also use the arrow keys as well. If you hold down Shift, it goes faster. If you hold down Control, it goes super fast. So we can start navigating around our model. And as you can see, real time. We have animated assets. So this tree that is currently on the screen is animated in real time. And that's just controlled by some wind or animation settings that are against the model. And again, you can control those and turn them on and off. So we can fly around the model first and foremost. So I'm just going to hold down Shift just to get a bit of a speed on, and I'm just going to take a bit of a tour around the outside of this model. And again, this really does look good. Yes, it's a showcase model. Yes, therefore, they have spent a lot of time and effort with regards to the look and feel and the textures of this thing, but it really does look great. And again, if we compare this to how Enscape was released 10 years ago, it's come a long way. So I can fly around the model. If I press space on my keyboard, it turns on collisions and it drops me onto the floor. So now I can physically walk around as if I was on the floor. And you'll notice as I bump up and down the curbstones here that it does literally take me up and down with the surfaces that I'm on. If I just turn off collisions and just move myself in a little bit more just to get a bit closer, you can really see the detail and the clarity that we get with Enscape. When we let go of our mouse, look, no hands, it stops the animations. And at this point, the ray tracing is really going to kick in and it's going to iterate in the background and give me a really nice result. If I hold my mouse button down, it shows me the animations as we go. But to give you an appreciation of the textures, they support normal maps and diffuse maps and more. So you can see here the joints in this block paving, they look like they have depth. It's not modeled that way, it's just the texture being clever. So it supports all of the good stuff that you would expect from any rendering tool. If we look in the windows here, you can see that we have reflections of what's going on the outside world. So it understands reflections and reflectivity of reflective materials. And we're just going to go ahead and walk through into this building. Now, as well as taking anything that you model inside of Revit and rendering it, it's also giving us the ability to use custom assets. So we can place components down inside of Enscape, like these lovely looking cakes, and we can place them into our model, much the same as these characters and different people and different pieces of equipment and componentry around the model. That allows me to build on top of any default Revit stuff to really bring my model to life. And again, if I just let go and sit there and let it do its thing, it really comes through and it does a great job in making the product in this case being the building, look really, really good. Although collisions are turned on, notice I can't walk through the wall. I can't walk through the wall. I can't vault over the desk. But if I go to where there is a door, it will allow me to pass through the door and find a completely pointless empty room, which doesn't have anything in it. So let's come back out of that. So it understands the way in which components work inside of here. If we head up the stairs, you can see again that it works, and it works really well. We can come in and walk around this model and really get a nice appreciation of what's going on in and around the space. It's quite an open plan, this one. It does look like I've actually got some assets missing for some reason, so I'm going to go ahead and place some in to show you how this works. But we can walk around the model. Now, I'm quite lucky in this case in that I've got a really nice high-powered Dell machine from my friends over at ElmTech. And this allows me to run these renders on really, really high settings. So inside of Enscape, I can, although the settings have jumped onto a different screen, I can come in and open up my visual settings. There we go. And my visual settings have all of these sliders. This is really simple stuff. Everything works with a slider. This is currently on high fidelity or high level of detail, high quality. I'm going to bump that up to ultra, and I'm fairly confident that with the powered laptop that I've got here, it's going to work pretty nicely. But dependent on your spec, you might want to run this slightly more to the left-hand side. Moving that to ultra, you can see has changed the look of this a little bit. And I can still walk around my model really nicely. It's just a little bit crisper. It's really going to go to town with things like ray tracing, and everything again just looks a little bit nicer. But we've all got all sorts of other settings in there, such as the ability to view this in like a white polystyrene-esque mode. We can turn on outlines of the model, and here we go. The model will eventually refresh to show you that particular view. You can even come in and start to get an appreciation or an idea about potential lux levels in your model based on lighting or based on windows that are placed in and around the model. So we've got some really nice functions. For those of you that are a little bit like me and a bit geeky, we've got a load of settings that we can chop and change to look at skyboxes, environments, HDRIs, different effects. I'm not going in those today, but again, you really get the appreciation that this is a very, very nice rendering tool. Whilst this is running, Revit is physically on still in the background. So if I jump back to Revit and let's go ahead and look at my floor plan. I think I'm on level 1. This isn't my model, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm not on level 1. I must be on there for level 2. So inside of this Enscape environment here, what I can do is I can choose to be able to see my Enscape camera inside of my view. So let me just find the button. Can't see it. Let's go and try and find the way that this has been modeled. Sometimes the worst thing about working with someone else's model is trying to identify the way in which it's been modeled. So where am I? That's definitely the ground floor, although it's a level 1. I'm pretty sure I was on here. I came up some stairs and I should be somewhere around here. Let me just clarify that I've only gone up one set of stairs. I have indeed, which is there. Although my stairs weren't double-sided, there was only one of them. Am I looking in the right building? There is only one entrance to this building. It must be this one. Okay, the live camera is not working for some reason. Pass. We should be able to see the camera walking around, but nonetheless, I'm inside of Revit and I'm looking in this space here, which I think is this space over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my asset library. I have an asset library inside of Enscape, which allows me to place components. And I'm just going to come in and say, do you know what? I want to place an animal and I want to place this lovely looking chap into my model. So I'm going to just bring this onto a second screen to make it a little bit easier. And where's he gone? There he is. Let's drag and drop this model into my Revit model. It will download this live from the internet, so it'll just take a few seconds. And I'm going to place him just there into my model. You can see inside of Revit, sorry, really low detail model, which is great. But if I jump over to Enscape now, we have a lovely looking feline friend. Not feline, that's a cat. Dog. A lovely man's best friend sat there looking fantastic. So these are all web-based assets that are loaded straight in as you place them. And it's live. And also any change that you make inside of Revit is also live. So on that exact same floor, if I grab something like this window here and move it, I'm just going to move it right into the corner there. You'll see that the updates happen live as you make them inside of Enscape. So a live rendered environment that really does look extremely good. Let's just fly up through some of the floors to go up a little bit and drop ourselves down. So if this was a fully detailed model, you could easily go within the void there to see any ductwork or piping that's going on at that particular point in time, or point in the model, should I say. Once you're in here and once you've got something that looks really nice, we can start to get these renders out. There's not a lot going on the inside of that building, so I'm going to go back to the outside and I'm going to find ourselves a nice view of the front of this building, something that looks a bit like that. Maybe we want a bit more of an environment in the background, so I'm going to head back to my visual settings. I'm going to go to my atmosphere. Not my atmosphere, sorry, my sky, and I'm going to change my horizon to be maybe a town. That just changes the backdrop there, and you can build your own HDRIs, or not build them, but create your own HDRIs in here. The purpose of this, I'm just going to tweak this ever so slightly so that the rotation's slightly different, maybe something like that. It's pretty good, quite happy with that. I'm going to have a little bit less clouds, change the variety, maybe have a little bit more citrus in there as well, and maybe change some contrails so that there's a few more contrails in the sky. And from there, I've got something that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to say that I want to save that image. I want to render, let's say, use a traditional term. I want to render that image. So I can go ahead and just say either grab a screenshot, use an AI enhancer, or do a batch render. I don't want to do things like batch renders today because, quite frankly, we'll be sat here watching a progress bar. Enscape's very fast at producing outputs because it's always rendered. So if I want to go ahead and save this screenshot, I'm going to put it into my pictures and just press save. There are export options and output options where you can choose the fidelity of the image and some post-processing effects like the anti-aliasing and whatnot. But once you've clicked export, the system just has to reproduce or generate that image for you based on your settings. So dependent on how high or how low or whatever other settings that you've got, this can be near instant to taking a handful of seconds. You can see that it's processing via ray tracing. So it's sat there and it's iterating and iterating and iterating. And within 20 seconds or so, it's produced that image. But remember, I am on ultra quality. So, we could get something that's far quicker than that if I dropped the quality down a little bit. It really depends on what it is that you're after. If I open this up with photos, we have a full resolution, really nice image, which is looking fantastic. And again, if you want to process that inside of Photoshop, you can do so. We also have some AI enhancement options. So if I click the AI enhancement tools, it will use artificial intelligence with the image that it produces and allow you to make enhancements. So let's just let this go away and render and show you that we then basically get this chaos cloud. Okay, so we create our uploads, we choose our locations, and we choose to upload that onto the cloud. And based on it being up on the cloud, it's going to run through some enhancements in the background. Now, I guess if we look into the future, perhaps there's a load of other options like the ability to tweak specific areas. We've seen that in tools like D5, for example. Really nice tool. I'm going to let that process and we'll go and have a look at that in a second. I'm just going to open that on a second screen so I can see once it's done. The other thing that we can do from here is we can really start using this to our advantage. So if you want to create a video, we can go to our video editor. And from there, I just have a timeline along the bottom. I choose my start point. I then move my camera. So I want to walk forwards or fly forwards in this case. And then I click to add a new frame. I'm then going to look to the right-hand side. And I'm going to fly forward again a little bit faster. And I'm going to add another frame. I'm then going to move around and up and add another frame. What this is doing is it's creating this, this swept path you can see here. Let's just go all the way back down and to the left a little bit. And from there, I'm just going to head over onto the roof and end up in front of this door. So I'm moving the camera, pressing plus, moving the camera, pressing plus. And each one of these I can click. It takes me back to that point and I can update some specific information about the camera, change the field of view, change the focal point. Or quite simply, go back to the beginning, press play, and watch my animation. Again, no hands, let it do its thing. It's as easy as that. And if you're producing a video, so this particular video says it's going to take a period of time to go from A to B. So 2 minutes and 9 seconds is what it's going to do to go through this complete process. If I export this at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, you take your total, you divide it by the amount of seconds, then you divide that by how many frames per second. If your image output takes 3 seconds per frame, so on and so forth. And that's how you can figure out how long a video will take to export. But it's pretty good, pretty quick. I might sneeze in a minute, hence why I keep holding my nose. Bear with me. No, it's gone. Typical hay fever season. So really easy to produce these videos. And again, at any point you can come in and tweak them and chop them and change them, which is really, really nice. We can also use this as a BIM tool if we want to. So we've got some tools on the top left-hand side to collaborate and go into BIM mode. If I go into BIM mode, I can select components in my model that may have BIM properties. So let's go into our model and select one of our managed assets like this. Well, I would say this screen, but this is an Enscape asset. Let's select this one here. This shows me all of the metadata against that. So these are Revit metadata items that exist against the components that you select. So we can instantly, inside this environment, start accessing our level of information should we need to. As well as that, we can collaborate. We can start creating issues on here. So I can see that this looks a mess. So I'm going to say create an issue. Title is mess, messy, not the footballer. This is terrible. Terrible. Please fix it. It creates an image. It locks the position. And we can create that image. Those images can be then used at any point in time in multiple ways, because A, we can see where the issue is. If we're in that environment, we can see where the issue is and we can go to it and have a look at that issue straight away. We can also export these out in BCF format and import from BCF format to support the wider digital construction workflow, which for me is really, really good. We can manage different views inside of here. So I can visit different Revit views inside of my renderer, where we can literally say, go to a view, and it will take me to that particular view and those saved camera components should I want to. It works really, really well. And this is just brushing the surface of what you can do using Enscape. The other thing that I really, really like about this is the ability to share this live interactive walkthrough as a standalone executable. So we can, using Enscape, export a standalone or a web-based self-running application that allows people without an Enscape license to walk around the model that we see. So we can use Enscape and Revit, or Enscape and SketchUp, or Enscape and Rhino, or whatever it is that you're using to create stunning visuals. We can then share those as images. We can share them as fully fledged videos. We can even export live walkthrough experiences that we can share with our client. And yes, you can control the settings with regards to the quality to make sure that it's low enough for their spec or high enough for their spec of machine. We can also enable virtual reality both in here and in those exports as well, to be able to invite our clients to experience the building using a tethered VR system, should that be your thing. Really, really nice set of tools, and it just works. It works really, really well. So just to finish this off, let's head over onto my Chaos Cloud. It's currently enhancing my image for visual inconsistencies. And what it's going to do is it's going to look at the image I have and it's going to try and modify it using AI. So you can see here we've got V2, which is the AI enhanced one, and we've got V1, which is the standard one. And now I need to try and see if there is anything different between the two, because I find it really difficult in some cases to see what has changed. Let's have a look. No, nothing. Nothing that I can see. But anyway, it will find any inconsistencies and it will iron them out. So if you've got a bit of bleed somewhere on the render, for example, it could go and find that and trim it out, which is great. But all in all, really, really nice tool. I love Enscape. I think it's fantastic. It really does work well. So if you've got it, keep using it. If you don't have it, reach out. 20% off because it's 10 years old. Really good tool. Very easy to use, and hopefully, as you've seen, you can create stunning results really, really quickly. That is it for me. So hopefully you've enjoyed the session. Again, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us know what you want to see next time out. And we'll see you then. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.